welcome one and all to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. It is lovely to be back. Lovely to be back after a little break here. We're back just in time because tomorrow is President Trump's 100th day in office. But who's counting? In seconds. So far, it's been 8,596,800 seconds. 801, 802. Move faster! I'm not the only one who feels that way because his polling numbers are historically bad. In the New York Times poll, of his first 100 days, his approval rating is at 42%. In CNN, it's 41%. And in the ABC, Washington Post, Ipsos, Flamin' Hot Cheetos poll, he's at 39%. That is the worst polling number since polling began. I gotta believe that's hard to hear. Babe, when I said that was the worst sex ever, I only meant since sex began. We don't know about before. Nothing Trump has done so far is particularly popular in any of these polls. But the thing really dragging him down is his handling of the economy. In the ABC poll, more than 70% of Americans say the economy today is either not so good or poor. The other 30% are either in a coma or in his cabinet. Or both. Trump was none too pleased to hear that people are none too pleased with him, posting, "A great pollster, John McLaughlin, one of the most highly respected in the industry, has just stated that the failing New York Times poll and the ABC Washington Post poll about a person named Donald J. Trump, me, are fake polls from fake news organizations." Okay, that stuff, that might fool some people, okay, if it was just one or two polls, but it's all the polls. That's like having a mug that says, "World's best mom, no matter what my kids say." Fake kids. The polls, fake kids. Happy Mother's Day in advance, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. The polls are one thing, but there are even more dark omens of the end times, ladies and gentlemen, because over the weekend we learned that Gwyneth Paltrow has started eating carbs and cheese again. Oh my goop. This is just like Nostradamus predicted as he stared into the stuffed crust. In fact, not many people know this, but the last notch on the doomsday clock is Gwyneth eats a Cinnabon. This chilling news. That's it. Where are we, by the way? Where are we on the clock? Are we close? All right. This chilling news reminds me of Paltrow's terrifying scene from the movie Seven.
What's in the box?
Pizza is obviously the greatest food of all time.
No!
There you go. There you go. I think the cold, too. You know what I mean? His polls may be terrible, but Trump is still talking a big game. To celebrate his 100th day, Trump sat down with Time magazine. Their reporter pointed out that so far, there have been no tariff deals with any other countries. But Trump replied, "No, there's many deals." When are they going to be announced? "We're meeting with China. We're doing fine with everybody. But ultimately, I've made all the deals." When are you going to announce them? "I've made 200 deals." You've made 200 deals? 100%. No one's buying that. "I definitely had a girlfriend at summer camp. No, she was a model. We did the whole sex deal. I felt the boobies, all 200 boobies. We did it all." Thank you. For the record, 200 deals would mean that Trump had made trade deals with all 195 countries in the world plus 5 bonus trade deals. It's true, folks. No, it's true. That's the art of the deal. That's what I do. You know me, I made deals with Wakanda, Narnia, McDonald's Playland, East Korea, and I drove a very hard bargain with the Princess of Genovia. Tough gal, tough lady. Wow. Used to be a homely teenager in San Francisco, but Queen Mary Poppins got her all gussied up. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent went on the Sunday shows to try to explain Trump's lie.
He said that he has made 200 deals on tariffs. 200 deals? Who has he made deals with?
I believe that he is referring to sub-deals within the negotiations we're doing.
Martha, I believe he is referring to his sub-deals. He has so many sub-deals. This man is getting $5 footlongs at Subway. Martha, he's getting chips and drinks at Jersey Mike's. And he's just taken a very high-level call with blimpies. Trump also spoke to The Atlantic, which was kind of surprising because last month the magazine was supposed to talk to him, but then Trump got mad at something they reported and he canceled their interview. Then according to The Atlantic, they got his cell phone number, like you do, and they cold called him on a Saturday morning. The number that flashed on his screen was an unfamiliar one, but he answered anyway. Who's calling? He asked. I'm not decent. That's right. The President of the United States answered an unknown number. I know he's 78, but this might be the most elderly thing he's ever done. I just had an amazing call with the president of China. Turns out he's my grandson, and he got arrested in Mexico, so I wired him $10,000. I didn't even know he called me Peapod. Good kid. A recent poll shows only 35% of Americans approve of Elon Musk, and perhaps... Are you booing him or that only 35%? Perhaps as a result, during the first quarter of 2025, Tesla's net income fell 71%. Wow. You cannot buy that kind of marketing. So last week, Elon announced, starting next month, I will be allocating more of my time to Tesla. Yes, he wants to be there personally at Tesla to offer all his most valued employees his sperm. But if he's leaving DOGE, that must mean that DOGE's job is done. Remember, Elon Musk promised to cut government spending by $2 trillion, which he then changed to $1 trillion, of which the actual verifiable cut said at just $63 billion. But they're hoping to shave off a couple more billion by making the Air Force switch to Kirkland signature fighter jets. Catholics of the world are still mourning the death of Pope Francis, who passed away on Easter Monday at 88 years old. Pope Francis was an historic figure. He was the first Latin American pope, and he was known for his incredible humility and kindness. He was called the People's Pope because he dedicated his papacy to helping the world's poorest. Pope Francis always set a personal example of modesty. Instead of lavish Vatican apartments, he stayed in a modest boarding house where, to demonstrate the value of service, he instituted the first ever Vatican chore wheel. Last year, pray, 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 Swiffer the gold. Now, last year, I was honored to meet Pope Francis with other comedians from around the world. It was really a lovely day. Incredible, once in a lifetime. Wow. It was part of an international cultural exchange that the Vatican called Comedians and Confessionals Getting Penance. When it was time for my audience with His Holiness, I reminded him that I read the English audiobook version of his memoir, which was another unexpected honor just to be asked by the Vatican to do that, though I have to say I do have a killer Pope Francis impression. Meh, see, I'm infallible, see, meh. That means I'm always right, so get in line, I run this Vatican, meh. So, Sorry, that might be my De Niro. I'm not. So it's a sad time for Catholics, and here in America, Trump immediately announced that out of respect for the Pope, all flags in the country would fly at half-staff. Except he did it while standing next to the Easter Bunny. Reminds me of when Walter Cronkite reported the death of JFK, flanked by the Kool-Aid Man. In the week after his death, there you go. In the week after his death, the Pope lay in state in St. Peter's Basilica, which gave the public a chance to pay their respects. But at one point, the Vatican actually had to ask visitors not to take selfies with the body of the late Pope. And I can understand that. That might seem disrespectful. But to be fair to those selfie takers, as a Catholic, sometimes it's hard to gauge how the church feels about dead bodies. Don't you dare take that selfie! Now you go stand in the corner next to the skull of Mary Magdalene and the shin bone of St. Zachary. All right. I'm telling you, don't you follow me. With the funeral over, the church has to elect a fresh pope. And sadly, for some reason, the candidate leading the polls is Andrew Cuomo.
Wow.
He'll do a good job.
Wow.
The Vatican has announced the conclave to elect a new pope will start on May 7th. And during the conclave, all the cardinals from around the world gather in the Sistine Chapel to vote. And after each vote, the ballots are burned. Black smoke indicates an inconclusive ballot. White smoke announces to the world that a new pope has been elected. And gray smoke indicates the cardinals have a really nice pork shoulder going low and slow on the Vatican green egg. So, kiss me, I'm celibate.
There you go.
So who's going to be the next pope? The betting favorite so far is the Vatican's Secretary of State, Pietro Parolin, seen here on Casual Bejeweled Staff Friday. But one of the other contenders is the Vatican's top official for Middle East affairs, Pierbattista Pizzaballa. You know his slogan, no one out-pizzas the balla. We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Wanda Sykes and Broadway star Cole Escola. But when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?